How's everyone doing? I'm back. I know it's been a while since I made any type of video. This is actually my first video without actually recording. I guess it just hit me that it's way easier just to record sound. So with that being said, let me just, before I even get into it, I'm kind of sick at the moment, so I'll be clearing my throat a couple of times. So if you're a person that your pet peeve is people clearing your throat, I suggest you stop listening. So here we go. This video is going to be particularly on my thoughts on Adrien Broner and Robert Guerrero. So, and just a little bit on Floyd Mayweather Jr., even though he's going to be brought up in this conversation a few times. So here we go. Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner fought, a couple weeks ago, as everybody knows who follows boxing avidly, or you have a favorite boxer. And I don't even want to get into everything leading up to the fight because it was just an utter chaos, and oh my god, it was just terrible. From the weigh-in to him really not caring about how much he came into weigh, and the whole negotiation to keep the the dude in the fight by paying him off, coming to an agreement. He didn't want to fight anymore. Escobedo was just like, I don't want to do it. I'm professional. And you know what? In all honesty, dude had a point, man. If you sign something off, you got to keep your word as a man. You got to come in, and if you don't hit the weight, then you work your ass off like every other fighter, and you put what you were gonna fight at. So he just blatantly just was like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm done with this division anyways. So go ahead, take the title. I don't care. That type of deal. It was just amazing. So this is kind of a breakdown of my thoughts on Adrien Broner because of these thoughts. I've always had some reserved opinions about Adrien Broner because I could see him just, I know this is an old term, I guess, but just straight swagger jacking Floyd Mayweather, and it's kind of annoying, because there's never been really a person that's in your face like Floyd, and I just think that he just, instead of using his own identity, he's just, doing what Floyd does now. So I'm gonna get into detail of that a little bit further, but I'm trying to go from the very beginning up to this fight. He fights. He looks impressive as always. Wins, and then he does his antics in the ring with the fake proposal, which, in all fairness to the chick, she was hot. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I see why you're getting married. And then he busted out where he was just fucking around. I was just like, oh wow, this guy's fucking ego and persona just took on a whole different look, and it's not a good one. But then again, who really cares? People only care about what you do in the ring, anyways. But I guess it's part of the package, the Adrien Broner package. So it the reason that it kind of like irritates me how he is now is because let's just look at the greats. Three people off the top of my head that I could kind of relate him to: Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Muhammad Ali. What do all three have in common? They both trash talk, they both talk shit, but they all backed it up. But there's a big but here. They did it with experience. They just didn't start boxing, won a couple fights, beat a bunch of nobodies, and started talking shit and was like, I'm the best in the world. I'm the best this, I'm the best that. Adrien Broner this, brush my hair this, brush my hair that. it became kind of annoying. And, this past fight, do whatever you want outside the ring. Promote yourself, get your shit out there, fine. We'll do whatever you feel like doing. But one thing is, don't disrespect the sport, and don't show that your lack of dedication of not caring is it could rub people the wrong way who are true boxing fans that take little things into consideration. And I think he rubbed the boxing community the wrong way with him doing that act of, I don't care, I'm weighing in at whatever I want to weigh in. I don't care if I have like a 15, 17 pound weight advantage on you. I'm still gonna fight because I'm Adrien Broner. Rules don't apply to me because I'm Adrien Broner. So That's that's bad shit, because the reason, let me get into it. The reason Floyd talks shit, and the reason Floyd has become who he is with his name, is because he earned it. Floyd has a right to talk shit because he's beaten everybody. Floyd has a right to talk shit because he proves it time and time and time again, and he does it really well. The guy is, one of the greats. He's going to go down as one of the greats, you know. So that's why he does it, and that's why I feel comfortable with him doing it. And most of America may hate it or love it, but one common agreement is he backs it up because he's proven it. Keyword here, proven it. Back to Adrien Broner. He hasn't proven anything, but yet he's twice as worse as Floyd in that sense of arrogance and showboatness and all sorts of shit. And he hasn't even fought a B plus fighter. He hasn't even fought a B plus fighter. He hasn't even fought an A fighter, and he hasn't even fought an elite fighter remotely, be saying the same thing or even be in the same breath or in the same conversation with Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's why I don't understand why people are like, he may be the next best thing, and he is going to be the next best thing. You know what? But I agree with that 100%. Because the kid has skills and he demonstrates it, but the kid hasn't been tested, and I just don't want to set, a lot of people set themselves up. What's a prime example of people giving too much credit before and ahead of their time? Let's use Amir Khan, Victor Ortiz, Andre Berto. Those guys, were considered like they were going to be the next best thing. They were going to be great, pound for pound fighters. Amir Khan this, Amir Khan that, Andre Berto this, Andre Berto that. Victor Ortiz this, Victor Ortiz that. And then, now people don't even mention their names, and people feel embarrassed to say, I can't believe I thought that guy was the next best thing, because, they just hopped on that, that train of superstardom could leave even before you could get on it. It's that fucking quick, man. And people just assume like you could just, give people credit without them earning it. So my thing is that Adrien Broner hasn't earned anything for him to be that blatant and that lackluster if I don't give a fuck about the details, because, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You have to earn your stripes before you can start calling shots. And Floyd Mayweather has earned his motherfucking stripes, and that's why he calls shots. You've hit a pinnacle point in the sport where you can control every aspect of it, and if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. That's when you accomplish yourself as a great. Adrien Broner, not even close to that shit, but thinks he could do it, Different story. Now, that's pretty much my thoughts on Adrien Broner in a nutshell. A lot of Adrien Broner fans are gonna hate me for saying it, but it's the truth, man. And you only hate it when you don't want to hear shit that's the truth. People already handle the truth, but it's that's what everyone who knows, who could read between the lines, could see and decipher that it's kind of irritating in a sense, and it doesn't help because HBO has their own agenda and etc. etc. So whatever, I'm not even going to get into that extensive story about how this is even like adding fuel to the fire of Adrien Broner. Now let's get into Robert Guerrero. Quick summary, Robert Guerrero took a year and plus months because of his wife's cancer. It's a sad story. I wish there were more, guys around the world that actually show, that they could put their stuff on hold, their career, to take care of what's important. That's, that's family and your wife. And, hats off to Robert Guerrero. But we're not talking about his personal life right here. Obviously, and unfortunately, his profession is of a professional fighter. So his career is left to criticism and opinions. And that's why I'm giving my opinion on Robert Guerrero's, in-ring performance. So, here we go. Robert Guerrero looked, he looked pretty good the first 4 rounds. A big jump. Let's not forget, two weight classes, really? Like, you're gonna make that big of a step? And I have to admit, the first 4 rounds, I was like, oh shit, Robert Guerrero doesn't look bad at all. And then it was all downhill from there. He slowed down tremendously. He got to the fight, put his combinations together really well. But one thing he just didn't do at all was show any sort of defense. That defense has more holes than Swiss cheese. Jesus Christ, it was terrible. A guy that's just a one lopsided type of fighter. That big heavy right hand. And I don't know what round it was where he landed 3 or 4 straight right uppercuts right up the pipe to Guerrero, and Guerrero's chin just kept on bouncing up, backing up and down. I was just like, Jesus Christ, when are you gonna get out of there, man? You just wore these big ass shots, and he just staying there in the pocket still. So, I guess that kind of shows he could take a punch from a legit welterweight. But then the flip side to that coin is he really can't, because he got hurt by those right hands, in the mid to late rounds. So, I mean, I really can't say anything positive on that note about his defense. I mean, his offense looked really well, like always, but he's not ready. He's not ready for that welterweight division, and he is definitely nowhere near being or calling out Floyd Mayweather Jr. We all know why. The guy's just on a whole different class. He's on a whole different planet. Boxing's on the left, Floyd Mayweather's on the right. That's how far he's, detached himself from these fighters. So, I can't blame him. Everybody's gonna call out Floyd. Everybody wants to get paid. Everybody thinks they could beat him. Et cetera, et cetera. I'm not even gonna go down that road. So let's talk about Robert Guerrero's career as an individual. I personally think he needs to go down back to like the 130 range. Fighting some elite fighters in that weight division, even though there's nothing, really there. But if he can establish himself, that's where he needs to live. That's where he needs to be, at a comfortable weight where he can handle and box and not look fatigued and tired, during a fight like he did in this fight with Adrien in a 12-round fight where he just looked gassed. But that's pretty much all I have to say about Robert Guerrero. I mean, he didn't look bad at all. Ring rust or not, he's not ready for the welterweight division. Let's talk about a little bit. You know what? I feel like talking just a little bit about Floyd, because he is gonna get released from jail in a couple of days, or I don't know if he's been released. I haven't been keeping up with anything. Um, People are like, we have to see how Floyd is. How he's gonna be when he comes out. What the fuck does how he comes out have to do with anything? He's not gonna get all fat. He's not gonna get all super skinny. You can't deteriorate that fast. I don't give a fuck if it is jail or prison. You're just not gonna go away just like that. And it's not like if you're going straight, you're gonna get released, and then from there it's like, okay, next week you're gonna fight in Vegas. That's just not gonna happen. That's fucking stupid. I don't understand how people say that shit. So he's gonna get, even if he's not in shape, he's gonna get back in shape. This guy's lived in the gym since he was like 5. You think a couple, just like about 2.5 months off is gonna throw all that away? Of course not. That guy was fucking born to fight. So, after all the bullshit settles and he gets released and all that, what's his next move? I honestly feel, I think he's gonna have a rematch with Cotto. I really don't see anything else for him. Because of the Chavez Jr. Sergio Martinez fight coming up. I don't even want to get into that, man. Hands down, I think Sergio has that fight. But then again, Chavez Jr. comes from boxing royalty. So, you now boxing nowadays is just, you breed them. And Sergio Martinez is old as well. So, they're probably going to be like, what benefits us more? The Chavez Jr. or Sergio Martinez? From a boxing standpoint, if everything was nice and crisp and legit and there was no politics involved, I would love to see Sergio Martinez take on Floyd Mayweather Jr. Even though Sergio is just a slight, bigger than him. But, I mean, Sergio Martinez is a, top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. Why would he not fight Floyd Mayweather Jr.? But, of course, boxing doesn't roll that way. We have to roll with what's going to make money. And we all know, who Chavez Jr. works for. I don't want to even say his name. Bob. So, that's not good business from a standpoint right there already. We already know there's bad blood there. So, in all, I think the next thing for Floyd is probably going to have a rematch with Cotto. I don't really see anything else. I don't see anything quite interesting that's going to grab my attention where I'm going to be like, oh shit, they're going to make that fight happen. Nah, I don't think so. So, okay, this video is getting too long. I'm talking too much. I'm about to start ranting. So, that's pretty much it. My thoughts on on Adrien Broner, Robert Guerrero, a little bit on Sergio and Chavez Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Jr. So if you guys have any thoughts on what I said about Adrien particularly or Robert Guerrero, please let me know. Put on the comments. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening, guys. As always, your opinion is welcome, even if it's a negative one. Just don't get onto that racial thing. That when you bring all that racialness into this, it's non-existent. I'm gonna take it down super quick because I don't need to hear all that bullshit. So thanks for tuning in, and hope to hear from you guys soon. Take it easy.